Hey guys, welcome back to the Garage of Craziness. So, let me get you caught up on what we've been doing this summer and yeah, just all the good stuff. So, here we go. I do not like to have mess, but my garage is destroyed right now and has been for a while. So, this is kind of what led to what I'm working on now and where I'm going. So, this is Rusty, my 56, and Smokey, my dad's chassis, and body's in the carport. I need to be able to get body on and off and just have one car in the garage at a time. So to do that, we ended up getting a Max Jacks so that we can work on that and then also do some work on some other stuff. But to install the Max Jacks, I needed to get Rusty mobile. And for the past, oh gosh, what's it been? 6+ years? Probably 7 years, he has been sitting here in an auto cocoon without a rear end. The axle was out completely, the rear axle, everything. Purchased from a friend, a Ford 9-inch rear end that he had in his autocross Camaro. And it's just been sitting here. So, I got some time, and let's see what we did. So yeah, he's on the ground. Check it out. A little lower than I'd like. I will be raising him up a little bit, but I'll talk to you about how I'm going to raise him and what's going on here in just a second here. Let's jump on underneath. Take a little look here. Look, see? All right. So, you guys can see this. So, there we are, guys. RideTech coilovers. Now, it's just the Ford 9-inch is temporarily tacked in to the brackets because I need to set pinion angle and I need to get all the correct measurements, make sure, but I need space to do that, and I just don't have space right now. So I measured the best that I could, got it tacked in place, and yeah, 4-link is in, along with the adjustable coilovers. Coilovers are pretty cool, and you get a lot of adjustability, not only just through the coilovers themselves, by adjusting the spring, but right there is a billet bracket. And that bracket has 3 different positions, or 2 different positions that you can mount it in. Right now I have it on upper, I think there's 3. I have it on the middle one, and it's a little lower than I would like. And I have the coilovers set down to the lowest they can go. So I'm going to dial up the coilovers, which raises the height as you increase the, as you screw it up, and it compresses the spring, it pushes it up. So that's going to increase the ride height, and then move bracket up to increase ride height. A little higher than it is right now. But all in all, guys, what? Ford 9 inches in, 4-link is in, coilovers are in, Rusty is sitting pretty. And I still have to put in the mini tubs. I have mini tubs already purchased. I just have to weld them in, and that will be on another episode, many episodes from now. So, getting back to this, I need to be able to roll him out so that I can work on this guy. And I want to be able to take the body on and off because there's a bunch of stuff that I need to do for the back to finish this chassis. Oh my gosh, this chassis has been over a year that I've been working on this chassis. Things just keep coming up and everything. I've got the, you guys can see them right there. I've got the, I'm forgetting the name of them. The C-notches. Got this idea from Half Rods. So if you aren't checking out Half Rods, check his channel out for sure. But yeah, so I had a student help me fabricate these, and I talked about it many videos ago. It has a cross link, and these will be bolt-in. So if someone wanted to purchase them, they could. I've got, you know, if anyone was ever interested. I do have to do the measurements for a 2-piece and 1-piece frame though. But yeah, it'll have a crossbar with an H in it, and I need to be able to lift it up so I can find out where the springs are gonna sit, because the springs on the RideTech suspension have to go up into the trunk itself for travel. So what am I doing? I'm working on Rusty. So here's all of his front end. I took all this apart 6+ years ago, and trying to remember where everything goes, how it goes back together. When I was originally taking him apart, I'll show you guys here. There we go. Reaching down here. There we go. All right. So down here, there was a flat square nut that was completely rusted solid inside. So, and it cracked off and it was rusted and cracked off, so it was just spinning. So I cut it off. I tried to drill it out because I wanted to get the square nut back, but it didn't work out. So I just ended up going down, buying a new square nut. It's a 3/16, I believe. And then I just welded the square nut in, shot it with a little bit of epoxy, and I'm going to shoot it again, one more coat of epoxy, just so that it doesn't rust out, because I had to clean it all to bare metal. And I'm the blue tape king, gotta admit, love me some blue tape. Don't like overspray. So I'm going to spray that again one more time, and then when I get done with that, then I'm going to start reassembling the front end. And I've got the grill over here, I've got my stainless over there. I think I've got new the new brackets, or the new hardware to install the stainless. And just trying to remember how everything fits together. Look at how high the stock front suspension sits as opposed to the back. That's quite the rake, and that's not my deal. But working on it. So once I get this guy done and I can roll him out, then I get to put the steel anchors in for the Max Jacks, which is a 2-post lift for the garage, but it's a portable 2-post lift, which is really cool. So we take it to my dad's and then bring it back here if we need to. And yeah, move things up around, and gives definitely a person with a, I know it's a 2-car garage, but it sure looks like a 1-car garage, enough room to do things. Then I can organize things. I was able this last winter to organize my shelf over here. So that's all car parts over there for Rusty, Grandpa D, and Smokey. Got the Hellwig rear sway bar for Smokey sitting up over there, and all the grill parts and everything else. So, all right, guys, just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I will hit you up on some other videos here in just a minute as I move forward. So I had to search around YouTube for a while to try to figure out how these clips go on. These are the side molding clips. So just wanted to give you guys a little heads up. I found this on Glenn Ferris's YouTube channel. I think he's Mercury Man or something like that. But anyway, this is how you put on the clips that go into the side moldings. And I think I got my clips from Dan Chuck. All right, so here we go. These are the little clip-a-doos right here. These little guys are right here, and that look kind of funny. Glenn calls them butterfly clips in his video on YouTube. So here we go. So what you do is you're going to put the clip in and lock it out. And this one I know has to go to the end, so I'm going to make sure that the small wire is going the opposite direction, moving out in this direction, because I'm going to need to move the clip out here. Now, the trick about these, or what I had to find out from watching some YouTube videos, is how it works. So you're going to put the clip in like this, insert it into the trim, then you're going to turn it so that it stops, okay? Then you're going to take this little wire, and it looks like, or you might feel like you're going to break it, but you're not. It's made to do this. So you're going to grab it, and you're going to pull it over until it clips in, okay? Just take your thumb or whatever you need to, grab it and move it over, and that's going to pinch it in place. You can still move it around, okay? If you need to, you can just release tension on this little guy right here and then move it back and forward. If I can do it with one hand, I can't, but you can see that I can move it forward. Once you get it into place, then you're going to have to figure out where it goes on the body of the car. You can use blue tape or something like that to mark it, give you a rough measurement, and then you just move it around really in small, there you go, in small movements till you get it dialed in. So that's how you do it. So one more time, put another one in here. You're going to take it until it locks in. So in this case, there we go. I put it in here. Notice the little tab is sticking out. I'm going to put it inside here, and then I'm going to grab. And honestly, I thought that little thing was going to snap off, but it's made to stay on there. And there you go. That's your side clips. Cool. All right. Hey guys, so here's a little update when you're putting the grill in a 56 Chevy. It's been 6 years since I've done this, so it's been a little while. Yeah, I guess I just want to make things a little tougher for myself because, you know, it's summer, it's hot, what the heck. No, everything's going good, having fun out in the garage. But let me go over some stuff that I think will help you guys. So here we go. Okay, so when you're putting in the front grill, if you have taken it apart, like I did years ago, one thing that you have to do is this piece of chrome that is for your turn signals right here, the side of it, right here, right there, you'll notice there aren't any of the backings for the screws, okay, for the sheet metal screws. And if you look here, you'll notice that there are backing for the sheet metal screw. And this piece of metal you're looking at right here is coming from the fender directly. So you have the grill, you have the fender with the backing for the sheet metal screws. That means that this guy right here goes in between the two, okay? It gets sandwiched in back between here. So what you're gonna do is to put it in, and I'm gonna try to do this with one hand. It's probably not gonna work very well, but do the best I can here. All right, so the top of the turn signal is going to go, hey, that actually, whoop, never mind, didn't work very well at all. I thought so. I was excited, something might be happening, but no. Okay, and I don't want to scratch up the paint. I should have some blue tape on them. All right, Mr. Rusty, here we go, brother. Okay, so you'll notice the bottom portion right down here, where my pinky is pointing, goes behind the grill, okay, of the turn signal. The top of the turn signal bezel right here goes on top of the fender, and then back there, you can see my pinky pointing, we have to sandwich this guy, so we have to come in. And it's going to be hard for me to do it with one hand, so I'll show you guys. But it's got a sandwich in between these two pieces of metal right here. Okay, so give me just a second, and oh, looks like I've got my finger right in the camera. There we go. So this metal right here, right there, and the grill, it's got to fit in between those two right there. So let me go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you guys. Okay, guys, so here we go. Now this isn't sucked in. I still have to tighten up the screws and everything to suck it all in, but this is how we work. So the grill goes over the top of the turn signal. Turn signal goes on top of the fender. In between the turn signal, this piece of metal right here that comes off the turn signal goes in between the fender and the grill. So this is what it looks like all screwed together. You can see it sandwiched right here. This piece sandwiched right there. The silver that you see on the back side is the turn signal bezel, and then you have the grill, and then you have the fender. So, yeah, and all of this goes outside. You also have, oops, sorry about that, guys. You have the chrome strip that comes across here. And then what I did, and I knew better than doing this, but don't tighten everything down until you get everything on. It probably won't fit if you do it that way. So when you get everything really tight, which I went through and I tightened up the grill, all the little screws that go along the bottom here, and all the coarse port that goes to each one of the fenders, and had it all tightened down, and then I couldn't get the grill in, the braces that go into the grill right here and right here. The fenders were in too tight because I had tightened everything up, so I had to loosen everything, and yeah, so go back and you have to loosen everything back up again. So tighten it up with your fingers, get everything on there. Once you've got everything on, then go back and tighten everything up. Make sure that you tighten everything. Check it, make sure, but you're probably going to run into problems if you tighten everything down. And I knew better than doing that, but I did it anyway. So, yeah, onward. Rusty is coming back together. It's been years since I've had his face back on him. Getting him all ready so I can roll him around and have them all put together. And then I can put Smokey's body back on him and do a little work on Grandpa D. And yeah, just moving forward. So I hope you guys are enjoying this little quest. So I try, guys, just to give you guys information that I think is helpful. I don't try not to show you guys just a bunch of me just putting parts on, because that's pretty simple. The fenders, remember when you are doing the fenders, if you don't have one that you're taking apart, there are 2 bolts that go to the top right up here on the inside of the fender. These 2 attach the fender to the firewall and the chassis area. Then you have these three screws that go in. So these are all 5 of these screws go in to hold in the back of the fender to the firewall, and then the splash guard to the fender. And then you've got your main bolt down there, the one that I tack welded in, and then you have another sheet metal screw that's back over there. And then you're gonna have these guys, these guys right here. This little guy is a pain in the butt, and I'll have to show you guys later in this video how I got this. There's a screw that goes in the back side back here, and what I'm looking at right here are these splash guards that go along the top right here. And down at the bottom where the core support, get out of the way, where the splash guard and the core support come together, there's a screw that goes through them, but it goes underneath. And to get to it, you have to take your fingers, at least I had to, and use 2 fingers to go through and fit it in, and it's way back in there. So anyway, that's one that attaches the splash guards, the lower splash guards down. And then as far as the fender being attached, these sheet metal screws right here, these guys that I haven't tightened down all the way, attached to the core support. So the fender's attached to the core support, and then same thing down here. And then you have your core support that attaches to your fender here. So those are the pieces that hold the fender together. I know a lot of people just take the front clip off. If I'd have done that, I wouldn't have had a place to store it, and it might have gotten damaged. So it's better for me just to take pieces off of it and store them where I can. I know they're gonna be safe and not get damaged, because I want the patina look. He's my Rusto mod. So I want him rusty. He's gonna be modified. I've got the RideTech suspension that looks, it's really weird. I don't know why it looks rusty here. And then I have the paints here. It must have worn, this guy must have worn when I had it sitting on the side. I'm talking about the ivory color here. But it is the same fender. Came with the same car and everything. So I will shoot him with a coat of gloss once I sand him down a little bit. That's the end result. So it'll be really glossy and just look the way that, where all the scars and bumps and bruises and everything like I have throughout my life. And he's going to be awesome. I love it. That RideTech suspension is low in the back. I love it. I've got the mini tubs all ready to go into him. Yeah, he's good to go. Stoked. I'll take you guys for a little tour around the inside. Let me do that real quick here. So he did come out of, one thing I did want to talk to you guys about. So the gentleman that I purchased Rusty from, he had these manuals. If you haven't taken it apart, or if your car is taken apart and you don't know how to put it back together, I highly, highly, highly recommend you getting these instruction manuals, factory assembly manuals. I've got 3 of them. I have this one, and then I have this one right here, the shop manual, and then the appendage to the shop manual. So both of those 2 guys, or all 3 of those guys, have helped me out a lot over the years, especially like right now. I wanted to see how things kind of fit together, and I'll try to take some pictures of this and put this in the YouTube video at the end. So anyway, here's a quick look inside. He was originally from Gilroy, I believe. The gentleman was a barn find, and then the guy I bought it from the guy that got it out of the barn. So he is pretty much all original inside. Original headliner. There are 2 little spots in the floor. There's a spot right there, and then there's another spot right up there that I have to fix. But other than that, the floor pans, back floor pans, the trunk, everything is solid. Yeah, he's all new, just like a time capsule. You sit in him, sit down, it's the original front seat. The back seats are not original. I don't know why not. Flippers work, everything. Yeah, little BB hole right there. This is where the rust came in. There's rust that, I don't know what happened, if something was dripping here or what, but it went down this channel. You can see right here, it rusted down into this area. And then both of the rocker panels down here have, down here have some rust, and the door has some rust in it too, which you can see right there. But I'm not going to repaint him or anything like that. I'm probably going to put filler on the back side of that, or a little something that weather seal or something, black weather seal, 3M weather seal or something, so that water doesn't get in there anymore. And then I'll clear out all the little drain holes and everything. But he's really solid car. I just call him rusty because he's got a lot of surface rust, and there's a couple parts that have rusted in his roof, which is right there on both sides. There you go, right here and right here. And then, like I said, it went down here, so it's probably, but in the trunk, surprisingly, it's not that bad. So I don't know if it just ran down, and then when I get into this quarter, but the quarter's solid, and I've been up underneath it and everything. It's good. So anyway, this is my Rusto-Mod, Rusty. I haven't been working on him over the years. It's just neat to see all the craftsmanship that they put into these cars in 1956 and the 40s and the 30s and the 50s. They were beautiful. Everything was a work of art. I mean, look at the windshield wiper stainless here. That is just so cool. Yeah, I really consider them rolling works of art. The way everything moves, the way that this window moves, you know, with the little twist knob, and the way the flippers work and everything. I'm excited to buy steel rubber products to put in this because I want to get all new rubber for it and make sure that everything seals up nice and tight. And yeah, so in time it'll have an LS engine with a 5 or 6 speed, and pushing hopefully 500 at the rear wheel, and naturally aspirated if I can. Sitting nice and low on, I want to get torque thrust, but I want to do 18-inch torque thrust, and then I'll have them Cerakoted with this same kind of color in the center, and then machined on the outside lip with a thick lip, low profile. They have the torque thrust 2, I guess is what they are, the torque thrust 2. So this is Rusty, and I will continue on now with my reassembling. Thanks guys for following along. I'll see you in a sec. Alrighty guys, well I am under here adjusting the ride height. I thought I'd show you guys kind of what's going on with the RideTech 4-link coilover setup and the adjustability. I really love the adjustability. I am tickled pink about this. So I had this block up another set, and this is the perch that they give you. Yeah, anyway, the bracket, perch, whatever you want to call it. So this build aluminum block here allows you, this is obviously where the coilover attaches, and then you have all of these different settings that you can set the block at. Okay, so to change the ride height. Not to mention, you also have your coilover itself, which you can set the ride height at as well. So super cool. I really am grateful I've got these guys. Took us a while to save up some money, but I'm pretty happy waiting to buy the Willwood brakes so that I can put on the front and back hubs and the disc brakes for them. But so let me go over kind of how this works. So RideTech sends you these brackets that go up at the top. They tell you where the measurement should go from on both sides. I have on Rusty, it's a if you guys can see that. Okay, it's a seamless chassis. Okay, it's a one-piece chassis, not a two-piece chassis. And I know they call it seamless, but right there, they do weld in this section to the center. But going down the center section, you'll notice right there, there aren't any, there's not a weld. So there's not two pieces of metal butted together, or they actually lap them over the top. Okay, so here is one of the bars. I don't know what you'd call this on the 4-link. I guess your triangulation bar, but This bar comes from the driver's side to the passenger side of the car, the rear on the passenger side and forward. You also have a fat brace that goes from one side of the frame to the other to brace the back. I have the Art Morrison center bracing kit that I will be putting in, so I'm going to have to graft that onto the Art Morrison when we get the lift. Then I'll lift Rusty's body off of the chassis, and I'm going to have the chassis, either I'll paint it or have it powder coated. And but before I do that, I'll weld in the Art Morrison center section, their frame reinforcement kit, I believe is what they call it. So right here, you can see the two different arms that are coming off of that bar. So there's a bracket on the bar that has two different bars that come out of it. They've got these R-links, which are really cool. They're impregnated with these Delrin bushings are self-lubricating, so they're impregnated with the self-lubricating, I don't know if it's graphite or what they, probably not graphite, it's probably, you know, whatever they use, the material they use in them. But these R-links are super cool, and you have a lot of adjustability. I don't have the pinion angle set totally yet, because everything's just kind of tacked in. The really cool on the coilovers, let me make sure I'm zooming out far enough so you guys can actually see this. It's not super fuzzy. Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, so at the bottom, a lot of times on coilovers, you'll have bearings that are down here below. And that's just flexing because I don't have everything tightened down yet. So what's really cool about the RideTech is instead of having a bunch of bearings, you have a Delrin bushing down here that's self-lubricating. And as long as you put on, I put anti-seize or never seize on the threads here so that I can slide up and down, get that never seize everywhere. The Delrin bushing allows the coilover to spin, or I'm sorry, not the coilover, the spring to spin on the strut, which is super, super nice. You don't have to worry about any of the bearings or anything. It's going to just slide, and it slides actually pretty easy. I've got some tension on it, but even with my hand, I'm able to. But obviously, if I were to increase, you know, threading it up, it would get harder and harder to thread. So these brackets up at the top, and all the brackets will be welded on. Guys, right now I just have it bolted in. This is how RideTech tells you to do it. You know, they have these tapping screws. You just drill in a pilot hole, and then these screws tap in. I used an impact to drive everything in really good. There was a little bit of gap between the brace. I did order it for the one-piece chassis, and so, but once I put in the screws and I used the impact, it just sucked everything right together. Worked out really well. So this is what it looks like. Just thought I'd show you. They send you the brackets, everything. It's a sick kit. I love it. I'm excited to see what it'll feel like on the road in a couple years when I get this done. But anyway, guys, all right, I'll hit you up. All right, everybody. So Rusty is done for the front end. Got it all put together. I'll talk to you about that here in just a second. It's over 100 and I'm done for the day. So this is going to kind of wrap up the whole putting Rusty's front end together, talking about the Ford, or not the Ford, but talking about the 4-link in the back, not the Ford 9-inch, although it has one. Yeah, all that stuff. So let me spin it around and show you what I got. Okay, so it's been over 6 years, probably closer to 7, 8 years, that I had the whole front end, all the chrome, everything apart, all over the place. His front end is back together. Nice to see a whole car again. Really nice. So I was really surprised. I hardly lost anything. The one thing that I can't find right now, he does have the deluxe bumpers, or bumperettes, whatever you want to call them, on the front and the back. This is the way it came. On the back side of these, there is a bracket that goes on the back of. So these missiles, whatever you want to call them, go over the bumperettes that are normally here, and it just goes over the top of them. And then there's a bracket that screws in to this guy that clamps it down and forces it on, and that kind of would get rid of that gap. The thing I would recommend, guys, if you're doing any of the front, I've said this before earlier on the other part of the video, don't tighten anything down. Leave everything loose so that you can move it around in the factory. That's what they had to do. As you can see, I've got some parts that are close. I'll have to, this is not the way it's going to be when it's done. Right now, I just wanted it together so I can move them around and everything is together. It's not in different boxes, in different places. Heaven forbid something were to happen to me. I don't want my wife to be stuck with just things everywhere, not knowing what goes with what. Yeah, just take your time, piece by piece. It'll all fit on. You'll get it all done. So that's what he looks like. I know the earlier part of this video, I showed you guys the inside. I just love these cars. I gotta tell you, man, they did the coolest things. You know, I was looking at this and, I mean, look at how cool this is. The stainless just around the windshield wipers, and, you know, for the little window here that comes out, they had a little stainless piece that came over here, and it's concave and has a little step instead of going flat, and everything's smoothed off, and the flippers and the chrome on the top of the windows, and they're just, yeah, they're so cool. I was watching a video on YouTube yesterday while I was working on this, and New Relics, NU-Relics, makes power windows for these guys, and you retain the stock handle, and then when you move the handle, it sets off it's electrical, and the handle just moves a little bit. It's like a bump, and it sets the regulator, and the regulator goes up. And then you can also set it so that you can do all 4 windows. So from one seat, instead of having to, the guy in the video talks about being an octopus, having to move around, you could just, from one of the windshield wiper handles, you can bump it a couple times, have a preset, and it'll take all 4 windows down. So I'm definitely putting power windows in this guy. I don't think I'm going to go to what Chevrolet had stock. I think I'm just stock for the power windows. I think I'm going to leave the handles. What I do want to do, though, is I want to go to the ivory handles. I don't like the black, so I'm going to look around for some original ivory handles that go with that. I've got some. My neighbor has a bunch of them, but they're for another one of her projects or something she's working on. So, which is super cool, but let's see here. I'm looking in here. This is a little bag of extras here, and I have one that I saved. Here we go. So this is what it looks like. These are what the ivory handles look like. And I just really like these. I like these a lot. I think they're going to look so much better, especially when I redo the interior. Yeah, I'll probably do Ciadella, but I'm going to have bolsters put into the seats so that you don't move around, because I'm going to have horsepower and I want to take this car cornering and I don't want to fly out all around. And then I might or might not put on, I really like the factory soft dash that they put on it. I might do that as well. But anyway, yeah, he's a complete car. Again, which is wonderful. I can roll them around, all the doors open and close without any of the stainless hitting or getting caught on anything. Still got dents, which I'm fine with. Nothing major. There isn't any really major body damage. Yeah, this is him. So, saving up for the Wilwood disc brakes. Look at that chrome on the front. Wow, that's super cool. All right, guys. Oh, and I have LED lights. Let me show you. So I've got these LED lights in the front. I've got LED lights I'll be putting in here. And I've got these guys that are super cool that I got from Dan Chuck. So let me show you guys. And these are from, I'm trying to remember the name of the company. I don't know why I can't remember the name of the company. There we go. United Pacific. United Pacific makes. I have them on my on Grandpa D, my C10 LED lights, and they're fantastic. But I have these guys, so the only ones I'm missing are the reverse lights. But let me show you how these work here. Thought this was pretty cool. So here's the 56 light, and so this guy will go in here. Will be LED. And then I'm going to get the LED reverse lights. But then also, this is just a reflector. but they sell this little LED light that you can put in there. What? I know, right? So cool. So, yeah. And then, if I can get this guy working, there we go. There's my gas tank. Right there. That guy back up there. I love that about the 56, and 57's got theirs, and 55's got their own version, which is really cool. It's on the side. This is the only thing that kind of bugs me, is there's a dent right down here. You guys can see that right here. And so I've got to, once I get this housing off, I've got to get in and try to just pop that back. It's not that bad, but it's enough that it's a good little dent. And here's the, like I said, the upgraded bumperettes that go on. So here's on the back bumpers. You can see, and they're over on the other side. So yeah, so I've got the LED lights still to buy here. And then those LED lights will be, all the LED lights will be good to go. You can see down this side, he is perfectly straight. There's little dings here and there, but no major damage. This trunk, something must have happened to the trunk because, yeah, it's a different trunk, but it works. It looks good. It's going to be clear coated, so it'll look nice down the road. And, all right, guys, so that's it. Thank you so much for checking out this little project of mine I've been working on for the past couple days. We got him all back together. He can now roll around. I can move him over to the carport and get Smokey's body back on the chassis and move forward with the Smokey project. Thanks, guys. Please remember to like and subscribe. Check out Half Rod's builds for sure. Please check out Half Rod's build. Rob does an amazing job with his videos, and I've used his videos time and time again. He has all of these neat, unique fabricating ideas, and he's a wealth of knowledge. If you are working on a Tri-5 Chevy, if you're working on a motorcycle, he has some Kawasaki's. I have a Kawasaki as well. I'll do a YouTube video on that sometime. But yeah, please check out his channel, and it's going to help you. It's really, really going to help you. That's Half Rod's. Check out Montana Garage, 55210, Rusty Wrenches. Dan's Tri-5 Garage. Dan's Tri-5 Garage, he's another person that just knows so much, and he has a bunch of Tri-5s, so many. So yeah, great guys to check out. Kyle Phillips, if you're him and his father, if you want to see what a Tri-5 will really do, a 55 or 56 Chevy on the autocross course. Speed Tech chassis, phenomenal. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to get into the AC. Couple last looks at Rusty here. He's my dude. Can't wait to take my wife out driving in him. Thanks, guys. Take care.